experienced, trusted. This is KETK Today.
Well, Rise and Shine East Texas. Today is January 10th. I'm Judd Baker.
And I'm Reyna Revelle. Thank you very much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Glad to have you with us.
It is 6:01 in our border report this morning. President Biden is in Mexico as he grapples with a migrant crisis that is escalating along the southern border.
Gabe Gutierrez reports now from El Paso.
Facing mounting pressure over his handling of the growing migrant crisis, today President Biden met with Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The crucial talks ahead of a summit in Mexico City come just one day after President Biden's first trip to the southern border since taking office, where he met with officials in El Paso.
But they need a lot of resources, and we're going to get them for them.
And while he did not meet directly with migrants, he was met with criticism from all sides. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott handed the president a letter blasting Mr. Biden's lax border policies for encouraging the migrant influx and arguing the visit came 2 years too late.
And that is the only reason why we have these people coming across the border like we do is because both the Homeland Security Secretary and the President are not enforcing current laws.
There were a record 2.6 million illegal border crossings last year. After President Biden left El Paso, the Border Patrol Union tweeting, "The photo op is over. Let the insanity resume."
Has the federal government done enough to prevent this?
To prevent, no. Absolutely not. They're trying to cover bullet wounds with Band-Aids.
Migrant advocates say the president's new immigration policy is still inhumane. That policy would expel to Mexico up to 30,000 migrants a month who unlawfully entered the U.S. from Nicaragua, Haiti, Cuba, and Venezuela. That's where Soriedvi Rivero and her family are from. They shared with us images from their harrowing journey through the Panamanian jungle, clinging to the top of a train in Mexico to arrive here at an El Paso shelter.
What's your message for President Biden?
We want an opportunity to stay, she says. We are not delinquents. We are good people.
And now, your East Texas Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Andrew Samet.
Here is a look at temperatures as you head out the door this morning. We are sitting out in the 50s for the most part, so it is a very mild start. 2-hour day today. We've got 54 right now in Jacksonville and Palestine, 52 in Center and Hemphill, 51 in Longview, 50 in Gilmer, 55 in Mineola. That's our warmest spot right now. Dew points are sitting out in the 40s and 50s, so moisture has increased across the area. That has led to some fog development over into deep East Texas. Visibility is down to 0 miles in Nacogdoches and Lufkin and Crockett as well, down to 1 mile at the Cherokee County Airport, and also some fog developing over in the Kaufman and Van Zandt County line there. So just make sure to leave extra time to get to your destination this morning. Wind speeds right now anywhere between calm and 10 miles per hour. We are going to see these winds pick up as we head throughout the day out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to bring in some warm air from our south, climbing into the middle 70s this afternoon. We'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine with, again, more clouds in the morning compared to then what we will see in the afternoon. During the afternoon, we'll see more sunshine than cloud cover, especially in northern areas. For tonight, we are going to see the clouds increase once again as temperatures will drop to the lower 60s out there, so it's going to be very warm. Just how warm is it? Our morning low tomorrow is warmer than the average high temperature right now. I'll have more details of what we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Judd?
All right, Andrew, thank you. 6:05 now, and there are unsettling new details in the search for a Massachusetts mom who disappeared more than a week ago. And it comes after her husband, who is charged with misleading police appeared in court, that is. Walsh's husband, Brian, faces charges of misleading police after prosecutors claim he didn't report her missing for days and wasn't truthful about where he had been during that time. Investigators finding blood and a knife at the home that they shared.
Crime scene services recovered and found blood in the basement area, in a section of the basement. There was also a knife that was found. On the knife, there was also blood.
Now, Brian was already on house arrest awaiting sentencing on fraud charges from 2018 when he pleaded guilty to selling fake artwork online. He's being held on a $500,000 bond, but there is still no sign of Anna.
In a a developing story this morning. More information is coming to light about that 6-year-old boy who police say brought a gun to school and shot and wounded his teacher as she taught a class.
That's right. Katie Beck is in Virginia with the latest.
From her hospital bed Monday, recovering from a gunshot wound, first-grade teacher Abigail Zwerner had one pressing question.
Do you know how my students are? She was worried about them.
Zwerner hailed a hero. Police say during classroom instruction Friday, a 6-year-old student drew a 9mm handgun and fired a single round. The bullet went through Zwerner's hand and struck her in the chest.
She suffered a gunshot wound, but she was still able to get all of her students out of that classroom. Mrs. Zwerner was the last person to leave that class.
Police say the 6-year-old brought the gun to school from home, the firearm legally purchased by his mother. The child now receiving treatment in a medical facility. Administrators back to the drawing board on safety protocols for lower schools.
I'll be honest, who would be prepared for a 6-year-old to bring a loaded weapon onto school or a weapon onto school and shoot their teacher?
Rich Neck Elementary will remain closed for the remainder of the week. Parents, grandparents, and faith leaders visiting campus, still processing the shock.
I've been good up until this moment. Now it's surreal.
An outpouring of concern for a heroic teacher and the little ones left to heal.
To have something like this, a safe place where kids are supposed to run with their friends, where they're supposed to pass notes in school, that's the kind of darkness they should have had to deal with.
A Minnesota business owner is still shaking her head after a deer busted through her glass door and left a hole in the shop's wall, and it was all caught on camera. This right here happened Saturday at a butcher shop. The owner says she was in the back working with her daughter when they heard all the commotion. At first, she thought a pot fell over or that her building was hit by a car, so she was quite surprised to see a deer running around inside. Evan says it took hours to clean up the glass shards.
A butcher shop, not a great place.
I know.
Not a great place for a deer to break into.
Yeah, I wonder how he just got in there.
Oh.
Wonder what got him in there.
Pretty crazy there. 6:08 now. Coming up next for us this morning, Goldman Sachs laying off more than 3,000 employees. Why it comes on concerns of a slowing economy.
And a sweet deal for foodies out there. Panera Bread and Grubhub teaming up together and giving away free soup. How you can get in on it.
We are going to see spring-like temperatures for the next couple of days, but a cold front moves in Wednesday night to bring some changes. I'll have more details on what we can expect in your full forecast after the break. Morning current temperature in Tyler is 53 with a dew point of 50 and winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour. So the moisture is increasing across the area. That is leading to some patchy fog development out there this morning. So leave some extra time to get to your destination, especially if you are in deep East Texas. Temperatures right now across the Arklatex, upper 40s to low 50s for the most part. Notice some 60s down 2 hours south in Houston and Austin. We'll actually see morning lows for some of us in the 60s as early as tomorrow morning. And when you have those morning lows in the 60s, that means that we are warmer for the morning than the average high temperature right now for this time of the year. Wednesday night into early Thursday, we get a cold front moving on in, which will bring a risk of an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm. No widespread severe weather is expected. In fact, rain chances overall Wednesday night are going to be pretty low, only sitting at about 20%. So your chance of seeing even a storm in the first place is already pretty low, and so the severe weather threat will be even lower heading into the day. Heading into the overnight hours, rather, Wednesday into early Thursday. Stay weather aware, though, Wednesday night. You don't necessarily have to stay up all night long, but just have ways to receive weather alerts that can also wake you up. Damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour is the primary concern. I have it at a low to medium threat, a low threat for tornadoes, large hail, and flash flooding. So those three things cannot be entirely ruled out, but really 60 mile per hour wind gusts is the primary concern here. Here's a look at what Futurecast has for for Wednesday. We start off with some cloud cover, but we'll see some sunshine throughout the course of the day. The cold front, though, slowly approaches the area Wednesday night. Showers and storms fire off out ahead of it really after about 8, 9 o'clock at night Wednesday. And then into early Thursday, we'll see some showers and a few thunderstorms continuing as the cold front sweeps through the area. Some heavier rain and storms, though, the further north and east you go from it. And then by around 6 o'clock in the morning, the cold front's already exited the area, and we are drying out throughout our day on a Thursday. So the system is going to be pretty short-lived here. We are going to see that rain chance Wednesday night into early Thursday, but look at that big cool down Thursday or Wednesday into Thursday. We drop 20 degrees from the high temperature Wednesday to Thursday, but still that's right where we should be for this time of year for Thursday and Friday. We're right back into the 60s again Saturday and Sunday, and then by Monday we are once again in the 70s out there with more showers possible. So it's staying pretty mild for the next 7 days here with an occasional cool down here or there. Again, that comes Thursday and Friday, including in deep East Texas, where high temperatures will be in the low 60s, so a lot cooler than compared to Wednesday, but still seasonal for this time of year. We'll be back into the 70s again by Sunday and Monday in deep East Texas.
We'll bring on Wednesday night, right?
I know. Almost 80 degrees. I still can't believe that. I was telling Andrew this yesterday, but this time last year, I'm pretty sure we were dealing with freezing rain and everything. I remember having to cover some of that.
Yeah, and there's no winter storms on the horizon. Again, Wednesday we could even see some record highs.
Wow.
Well,
guess what time it is, y'all? It is time to show some appreciation to our viewers. It's time for the KTK Today Rise and Shine CTCU Coffee Mug Giveaway. We'll be giving out a beautiful brand new CTCU coffee mug every Tuesday and Thursday.
And it's Tuesday, which means we have a winner. Drum roll, please. Congratulations to Steve Stanton of Van. You're our winner.
Congratulations.
And if you want to get your own coffee mug, signing up is easy. Just go to ktk.com and click on the contest tab at the top of the page.
All right, come stop by the station and pick up your brand new mug. It is now 6:16 a.m. After the break, we'll have your job board posting for today.
And still ahead for us this morning, Goldman Sachs is laying off more than 3,000 employees. Why it comes on concerns of the economy slowing down.
Then a sweet deal for foodies out there. Panera Bread and Grubhub teaming up together and giving away some free soup. How you can get in on it. You're watching KTK Today for your Tuesday morning.
KETK's Job Board is sponsored by Goodwill Industries of East Texas.
Welcome back. Dollar General and Fleet in New Summerfield is hiring. They are looking for a CDL-A truck driver. For this role, you will drive regional freight routes. You will also be paid weekly with a benefits package.
If you're looking for a job, or if you are an employer who's looking to post a job, click job board on ktk.com or our app, and you can find this job and look through thousands of other openings all across East Texas.
All right, checking out our consumer news now this morning. Trouble on Wall Street. Goldman Sachs is laying off more than 3,000 employees this week. Now, the layoffs of up to 3,200 of Goldman's 49,000 employees are set to start tomorrow. That move comes amid concerns that the economy will continue to slow down this year. Despite those cuts, though, the Global Investment Bank is still moving forward with plans to hire junior bankers and fill other top-tier positions.
Grubhub and Panera Bread are offering customers a sweet deal to start the new year. The two companies are teaming up to give away free soup during the month of January. Grubhub Plus members can get a free cup of soup with an order of $25 or more at Panera Bread. This is part of their National Soup Month celebration.
See, I would be all on board with that if it were like the macaroni bowl.
Oh, I love that. Do you like it in the regular bowl or in the bread bowl?
Are we on a diet?
No.
Then the bread bowl.
I love the bread bowl.
Be the bread bowl.
As far as soup, though, I really like their broccoli cheddar soup.
All of it's good.
It's
honestly.
all good.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, know what we're doing for lunch. So it's now 6:21. Coming up next for us this morning, the drama continues within the royal family. Why Prince Harry and William remain at odds during the release of a new memoir.
And President Biden in Mexico City, what's expected to come out of his meeting with the Mexican president as he starts tackling the migrant crisis.
Well, continuing this morning, the drama continues within the royal family. Princes Harry and William remain at odds amid the latest controversy.
New shocking revelations from Prince Harry's memoir surface. Kara Simmons has more.
A seemingly relaxed King Charles attending church on Sunday, as his youngest son's explosive interviews were broadcast on both sides of the Atlantic. Harry openly talking about that clash with William.
And he snapped. And he pushed me to the floor.
His bombshell book, Spare, describes a second physical altercation with his brother, with his dad Charles watching after Prince Philip's funeral. He lunged, grabbed my shirt. Listen to me, Harold. I pulled away, refusing to meet his gaze. NBC News has obtained a copy of the memoir before its publication date. Harry writes of differences with his brother stretching back decades. He even suggests being best men at each other's weddings was a charade. And deeply damaging for his father, the king, Harry recalls how he and William asked then Prince Charles not to remarry and accuses Camilla of trading information with journalists.
She was the villain. The need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous.
He was sacrificed, he says.
With her on the way to being Queen Consort, there was going to be people or bodies left in the street.
Even as the Queen died, he says the family's infighting continued. His brother and uncles took a plane to see her.
I was not invited.
Telling British broadcaster ITV.
And then the briefings and the leaking and the planting. I was like, we're here to celebrate the life of Granny and to mourn her loss. Can we come together as a family?
But the death of his mum, Diana, also a big focus of his book and interviews.
For a long time, I just refused to accept that she was gone.
This morning, Ken Worf, who was Princess Diana's bodyguard, telling NBC News he witnessed brotherly rivalry even in those early days.
Harry was this sort of character that was envied by William because of his personality.
He says he saw Princess Diana mediate between the boys after a fight.
And suddenly Harry leant across the nanny and said to William, "It's all right for you. You'll be king one day and I won't, so therefore I can do what I want."
Family divisions now exposed. Prince Harry unrepentant.
Silence only allows the abuser to abuse.
And yet he still says he hopes one day for reconciliation.
Well, it is now 6:26. Coming up for us this morning in our next half hour, President Biden's in Mexico City. What's expected to come out of his meeting with the Mexican president as he starts tackling the migrant crisis.
And thousands of nurses at two of New York City's largest hospitals went on strike after a proposal is rejected to give healthcare workers a raise.
And the 80th Golden Globe Awards are back this year after last year's break due to lack of diversity. The changes that we can expect to see in the films that have been nominated.
Roberts & Roberts, attorneys at law.
And welcome back. And we do have some clouds moving through the area, especially along and south of Interstate 20. It's a very warm start to our day today with temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s out there. As we head throughout our day today, we look to see those high temperatures climbing into the middle 70s out there with mostly sunny skies by the afternoon, but we will have to deal with some morning cloud cover out there. That is a quick look at your forecast. The last half hour of the news starts right now.
Coming up, President Biden in Mexico City, what's expected to come out of his meeting with the Mexican president and Canadian Prime Minister.
Also, China has reopened its borders since the pandemic, why it has people flooding back for reunions.
Then thousands of nurses on strike in New York City, why they say they're walking off the job.
Local, experienced, trusted. This is KETK Today.
Rise and shine, East Texas. Today is January 10th. I'm Reyna Revelle.
And I'm Jed Baker. Thank you very much for waking up with us right here on your Tuesday morning. Glad to have you here.
We begin this half hour with this morning. President Biden is now in Mexico City. He'll meet with Mexico's president and Canadian Prime Minister as the so-called Three Amigos Summit is underway.
Bree Jackson is in Washington with more.
President Biden meeting with Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador for crucial talks on key issues impacting both countries, including tackling the migrant crisis and stopping the flow of illegal drugs coming across the southern border.
I wish we could just have one focus, only one focus. We have multiple foci, and so that's what we have to work on.
On his first day in office, President Biden sent Congress his administration's plan to provide a legal pathway to citizenship and strengthen border security. But it's gone nowhere amid Republican opposition.
Then we would ask them to take another look at that reform legislation and act on it.
House Republicans now hold the majority, with Kevin McCarthy taking over the Speaker's gavel, the party passing a package of rules Monday that will govern how they run the House over the next 2 years.
And that was the real goal of the rules changes, to open up the process and let members of Congress be able to represent their constituents better.
The GOP is also moving forward with its agenda, which includes launching investigations into the Biden administration and undoing Democrats' expansion of the IRS.
For the Republicans to hold out to the American people that they are saving something by doing this, all they're doing is crashing the economy.
The GOP bill will face roadblocks in the Democratic-controlled Senate.
And now, your East Texas Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Andrew Samet.
Here is a look at temperatures as you head out the door this morning. We are sitting out in the 50s for the most part, so it is very warm out there. The average morning low is around 37 degrees, and we will be far from that for our day today. We're right now at 47 in Marshall, 45 in Mount Pleasant. That's actually our coolest spot right now. We've got some 40s also into Nacogdoches, but 50s for Jacksonville, Lufkin, and in Crockett. Dew points are sitting out in the 40s and 50s as well, so moisture is increased across the area. That has led to some fog development, especially down into deep East Texas. Visibility is down to 0 miles in Crockett and Nacogdoches, down to 1 mile in Center and Lufkin, down to 1 mile in Jacksonville and Athens, and down to 2 miles over into Palestine. Keep in mind that's each individual airport reporting those visibilities. Wind speeds right now anywhere between calm and 10 miles per hour. We are going to see these winds pick up as we head throughout the day out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll see those high temperatures today climbing into the middle 70s with a mix of clouds and sunshine. More clouds in the morning and then more sunshine by the afternoon. Either way, it's going to be warm for our day today with those high temperatures climbing into the middle 70s out there. For tonight, we are going to see temperatures drop down to the low 60s, so very mild for the overnight hours. We are going to stay warm as well into the day on Wednesday. I'll have more details on what we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Reyna?
Andrew, thank you. 6:34 now, and in a developing story, travelers streamed into China by air, land, and sea, many eager for long-awaited reunions. Beijing finally reopened borders that have been shut down since the start of the COVID pandemic. After 3 years, mainland China finally reopened sea and land crossings with Hong Kong and ended a requirement for incoming travelers to quarantine. Sunday's move was the final step in dismantling China's zero COVID policy on its people.
And thousands of nurses at 2 of New York City's largest hospitals went on strike. More than 7,000 nurses from the Bronx and Manhattan walked off the job after lengthy weekend negotiations that continued into the early hours of this morning, and they stalled out there. Mount Sinai Hospital reps say that the New York State Nurse Association did not agree to the offer of a 19.1% wage increase and rejected the New York governor's proposal to resolve the dispute outside of the courtroom.
A pickup truck crashes into an East Texas Slim Chickens on Monday. In Texarkana, a 55-year-old man was involved in the accident. He told police after another car turned in front of him. Now, police say the truck crashed into the front window of the restaurant. The building had some damage, but no one was injured.
Well, it is now 6:35. Coming up next for us this morning, the Golden Globes are returning to the small screen. We've got a preview of what's in store.
And then serving those who serve us, how folks in Kilgore gave back to local first responders.
Welcome back. Well, the Golden Globe Awards are back tonight for its 80th edition. NBC airing them once again after controversy forced 1 year of a hiatus last year.
The Globes will once again honor the best in TV and movies, and Mark Barger's got a preview.
A soggy red carpet setup Monday for tonight's Golden Globe Awards. The event returns after reforms by the Globe's voting body, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, addressing issues that included the group's lack of diversity.
I think this award season is going to be a big next step in the rehabilitation of the Golden Globes.
The show's bringing in comedian Gerard Carmichael to host.
Watch the Globes. It's more important than your family.
And it'll feature box office heavyweights Top Gun Maverick and Avatar: The Way of Water among the contenders for Best Film Drama, along with The Fabelmans from director Steven Spielberg.
The Fabelmans is the early favorite to win. It did have the most nominations of any movie in the drama categories.
I just don't like you no more.
The Banshees of Inisherin corralled the most nominations in the musical and comedy ranks. Its rivals include the early Hollywood epic Babylon and the reality-bending Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I think The Banshees of Inisherin, which is a really smart kind of dark comedy set in Ireland, has to be considered the favorite to win.
In television, Abbott Elementary has the most nominations and aims for its first win as Best Comedy, while The Crown seeks its third Best Drama win, trying to fend off the likes of House of the Dragon. But for everyone, fending off the rain might be the bigger challenge.
The Golden Globes air tonight right here on KTK at 7.
Of course, we all know who I'm going to be voting and vying for in the Golden Globes.
The Crown.
The Crown.
That was such a good series to watch. If you haven't, it's a recommendation.
Yes, we both love it. We're both royal followers.
Yes, yes.
And then I'm just here.
Hey, you're a fan of the rain. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, well, definitely not a fan of the rain in California because they're getting a lot of it. Now, we still need rain here in East Texas, and we will get some Wednesday night. Let's take a look at our forecast for our day today. We are going to climb into the upper 60s by noon, so it's going to be a relatively cool start to our day today, but temperatures will warm up quickly once the sun breaks out later on this morning. We'll see temperatures climbing into the middle 70s by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Winds could gust up to 20 miles per hour at times as we head throughout our day today, so it's going to be warm and a bit breezy for our day on our Tuesday. We are going to be even warmer for our day tomorrow, and then we are going to see a cold front move in. I'll have more details on what we can expect with that all coming up in your full forecast later on in the show. Judd?
All right, Andrew, thank you. It's now 6:41. Coming up next for us this morning, advocating for children in the welfare system. The new bill that's looking to do just that in the state of Texas.
Also, a well-known Tyler restaurant has shut its doors. How diners feel about the closing of Traditions.
You're watching KETK Today. Up to the minute you're up.
Well, you are right on time. It is 6:44. I'm Judd Baker.
And I'm Reyna Revelle. Thank you very much for joining us for News on the Go, your top headlines and weather forecast before you head out the door.
And we do start your News on the Go off this morning with unsettling new details in the search for a Massachusetts mom who disappeared more than a week ago. It comes as her husband, who was charged with misleading police, appeared in court. Walsh's husband, Brian, faces charges of misleading police after prosecutors claim he didn't report her missing for days and wasn't truthful about where he had been during that time. Investigators finding blood and a knife at the home that they shared.
Crime scene services recovered and found blood in the basement area, in a section of the basement. There was also a knife that was found. On the knife, there was also blood.
Now, Brian was already on house arrest, awaiting sentencing on fraud charges from 2018 when he pleaded guilty to selling fake artwork online. Now he's being held on $500,000 bail, but there is still no sign of Anna.
Developing story this morning, a man has been arrested and accused of impersonating a police officer. Police say they received a call on Saturday after a man flashed their blue and red lights and made a hand signal to a driver to pull over in Chandler. The caller followed fears to Tyler, where police were able to later pull him over for speeding. He is charged with impersonating a public servant and has been released.
And the 88th Texas legislature will meet in Austin this week. Among hundreds of bills filed, many are for improving the funding and care for children. This year, statewide nonprofits are advocating for children in the welfare system and endorsing policies that provide kids with access to safe placements in their community whenever they are removed from their homes. The organization wants policies that preserve families and will minimize the time children spend in foster care.
Foster care is meant to be temporary. It's not for children to grow up in. So the more that bills and policies can get passed on really working with families, and reuniting them gives less time for children to grow up in care.
Now, Texas CASA is also supporting continuous funding from the Health and Human Services Commission and the Department of Family and Protective Services so they can train volunteers on understanding the child welfare system.
Construction is underway for a new child development center at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls. Ground broke on base for construction to begin on one of 4 approved for Air Force bases in the United States. The new state-of-the-art facility will replace the former Child Development Center, which was a detention center right before. The $20 million project will take about 2 years to complete. Commanding Officer General Lyle Drew says the new facility shows the United States is not just committed to taking care of its own, but also their families.
And a healthier lifestyle is at the top of mind for many people around New Year's, but it can be hard to get out and exercise if you don't live near sidewalks or bike lanes. Good news is the Texas Department of Transportation is looking to invest in cycling and pedestrian projects as a part of its $250 million program. TxDOT says that this is an opportunity to improve access and mobility for people of all ages and abilities.
Our mission is connecting you with Texas, and one way to do that is through this program. Not just, we don't just build and maintain highways and roadways. We also do things like pedestrian walkways and bicycle pathways.
Now, TxDOT says projects to be funded by that program can come from any city across the state, regardless of the population size, and the deadline to apply is January 27th. To find out more about how this could impact your community, head over to our website. That is ketk.com.
Well, check this out this morning. A college acceptance story has captured the attention of millions. This senior right here is heading to Harvard. It's something he has worked for since he was in first grade. Look at that. Since Matthew was about 7 years old, his goal has been to attend Harvard University. And last month, sitting right next to his twin sister, he learned that lifelong dream came true. Matthew has cerebral palsy and says he doesn't just work hard academically, but physically as well. Matthew is not a fan of the spotlight, but he hopes the attention helps share the message you can overcome anything you want to do.
Well, that is just absolutely fantastic.
That gives me the chills. That's so exciting. And I was asking Andrew about this earlier, but do you remember when you got accepted into school?
I do.
Yeah.
I not as much as I probably should, but that feels like such a long time ago, though,
yes.
for me.
Oh, what a memorable moment there. And as we check in with today's forecast, we're going to check in with Andrew Samet over there at the weather wall. How's it going out there, Andrew?
All right, we are going to have a spring-like day for us today. Here is a look at Longview with our Skyview camera, brought to you by the Monsoor Law Firm. We are seeing overcast skies out there. Current temperature is 52 with a dew point of 51. So it is, we are seeing the moisture increasing across the area this morning. It's not humid out there, but by tomorrow it will be. Temperatures right now are looking like this: 48 for Dangerfield, 48 also in Mount Vernon, 50 in Emory and Quitman, 53 in Chandler, 54 in Athens. We've got 53 in Troop and Henderson, 48 in Carthage, 51 in Mount Enterprise, 52 in Rusk. And we've got 49 in Nacogdoches, 53 in Etoile and Huntington, 54 in Lufkin and Zavala, and 57 the temperature in Trinity. As we head throughout our day today, we are going to see those high temperatures climbing into the middle 70s, so it's going to be very warm. We're going to start off with some cloud cover this morning, followed by more sunshine as we head into the afternoon hours. The normal high temperature right now is 57 degrees. Look how much will be above that the next couple of days, but then a cold front moves in Wednesday night into Thursday, which will bring a big cool down to our area. But then by the weekend and into next week, we're already back into the 70s again by the day on Monday. Even looking farther ahead, between January 15th and January 19th, we are still looking to see a good chance of above average temperatures across the area. So this warm air is not really going away anytime soon for us. We will see some periods of cooler temperatures. That comes Thursday and Friday. Friday with those highs in the 50s and morning lows well down into the 30s. But then we're warming back up into next week. Showers become possible again Sunday night in a 2-hour day on Monday. For deep East Texas, it is more of the same. Chance for some storms Wednesday night, but rain chances are pretty low overall. And then another chance of rain Sunday night into the day on Monday, with temperatures staying mostly mild. For your latest weather forecast, go to our website. That is ketk.com.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Continuing our news on the go now. Many people in California have been forced to leave their homes due to dangerous flooding and mudslides. The entire seaside community of Montecito is under an evacuation order because of the weather. Tens of thousands of people are without power. Some schools have closed, and many streets and highways have transformed into gushing rivers.
Revelle of Kilgore grilled up a big serving of love as part of Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Everyone from healthcare workers to firefighters taking a break from the front lines to grab a spot in the barbecue line to enjoy a free lunch. Organizers say serving up some barbecue love is the least they can do for the men and women who make sacrifices in their lives to protect and improve the lives of others every day.
First responders don't always get the appreciation that they deserve, and they're here to help us and to support us in everything that we do. And so anything that we can do to show them that we appreciate them and to show them that we support them, then we want to try to do that for them.
All of the meat was donated by local vendors and community organizations. Even the residences of Arabella were happy to get in on the action, enjoying the moment to thank first responders.
And meanwhile, Tyler ISD was proud to honor district police officers who work hard to keep their campuses safe. The district expanded its police department and almost doubled in size to 29 officers by adding 11 new positions. The new officers bringing experience from larger agencies. The district says they're still looking to fill 4 new positions.
Well, here's something you should know this morning. A well-known restaurant in Tyler is shutting its doors for good. The owner of Traditions, Robert Owen, says he made the difficult decision after years of serving home-cooked food to East Texans. One customer of 23 years says it's heartbreaking to see the restaurant close and that most of the employees have worked there for years, and she had grown to know many of them along with several other regular customers.
Our community we have nowhere to go now for cafe style dining. Oh, I just really hate to see it close for the community. It feels like Tyler's growing too fast.
Owen says everything is made from scratch and very expensive to make, and that his crew has become family.
And a nationally historic moment taking place on the Texas Tech campus in West Texas. University raised the mast on the first fully operational on-campus oil rig in the nation. There is a view from the Oilfield Technology Center here. The historic edition provides a unique opportunity for petroleum engineering students with hands-on experience in the oil field while under a controlled environment with professional safety and supervision there in Lubbock.
And now with a look at the Today Show, we go to Hoda Kotb standing by. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Coming up on Today, we're live in California. We'll have the very latest on the damage and the dangers from that parade of intense storms as millions brace for even more rain today. Also ahead, we've got a remarkable group of gymnasts we're talking about, and they're making history. We will introduce you to the very first team from an historically black college and university to compete in the sport at the NCAA level. All that, then it's Tea with Tom Hanks, Savannah's fun chat with the legendary Oscar winner on his new comedy, sharing the big screen with a cat and the fellow star who taught Hanks about the life-changing power of meditation. That and more when we get started in just a bit, right here on Today.
KETK Today, weather on the go.
And thank you, Hoda. Here is a look at our forecast here in East Texas for today. We're going to see a mix of clouds and sunshine, more clouds in the morning than compared to the afternoon. In the afternoon, we'll see more in the way of sunshine. Temperatures today climbing into the middle 70s out there, so it is going to be a warm one for us with winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, so also a bit breezy. Winds could gust upwards of 20 miles per hour at times today. For tonight, we are going to see clouds increasing once again. Temperatures will drop down to the lower 60s overnight, so it's going to stay very mild. Again, this morning low for tomorrow is warmer than the average high temperature right now for this time of year. So very warm air in place. Tomorrow we could see near record highs for us as we climb into the upper 70s to perhaps 80. If we do hit 80 in Tyler and Lufkin, that would be tying a record high for the day on Wednesday. Longview's record high is 85, so I don't think we'll make it there. But we will be much cooler for Thursday and Friday with highs only in the upper 50s, but that's actually where we should be for this time of year. For deep East Texas, it is more of the same. Storms arrive Wednesday night. Rain chances are low overall, but if a storm does develop, then an isolated severe storm will be possible Wednesday night across the area.
All right, well, we are looking forward to it, Andrew. Thank you so much. Ketk.com, that's the latest for news, weather, and sports.
The Today Show is next.